see it say.
It told me that. Okay, awesome. Well, I'm Joy Johnson, and this is my co-host,
Grace and Frost.
and we are here with Real Estate Canva Lab. Thanks for coming. Today, we're going to talk about using Ask Canva in Canva Sheets. And I just want to say that last week we talked about the structure. This week, we're going to ask Canva to fill in the structure with content. We are not going to get into the nitty-gritty about all the details of how to use it in your creations. We're just going to go into Canva and we're going to show you how to use Bulk Create. We're going to show you how to use Ask Canva in Bulk Create. Before we jump into that, I just want to say that most accounts have this feature. If you don't, that's because you might have a different type of Canva account, and I just made my screen go away. You might have a different kind of account, but most accounts have sheets, they have Bulk Create, they have everything we're going to do today, and the extent of which depends on what you have. I'm going to be using an EXP enterprise account today. So I have all these things in it. If you have Pro, you won't have any limit. If you have a free account, you will have some limitations to how much AI you can use in Canva. And with that being said, I'm going to jump right in. So I'm going to share. So I'm sharing Canva. When you go into Canva, this is the home screen. I know if you've been with us, you know this is Ray Sun's least favorite screen, and it's kind of become mine as well. But for purposes of this, I just want to show you that there are a lot of places you can get where you want to go here. So we're working in Sheets. We can open Sheets right there, create new in this nice pretty row here. We could also come over here to where it says create, and we can hit create, and we can say sheet. We can say sheets over here. I'm going to show you going into projects. I've become a big fan of projects. Thank you, Rayson Frost. And I'll move you all out of my way here. And I just come over here and I say add new, and I put everything in a folder. And I can say new folder. You could also say design and go into sheets, but I'm going to open a folder that I've already been using for this Real Estate Canva Lab. This is why being in projects and having folders works really well. I want to show you before I jump in, if you're starting from scratch, what it looks like. I'm in my folder. I'll say sheet. It comes up. I don't need these templates for what I'm doing. So I would just use this blank sheet.
Don't forget when you do that to make sure you change your title and put it into file it away in the right folder so that it's ready to go and you don't have to search around to find it later.
Absolutely. And I'm going to get rid of that one so I don't lose what I did. Because if you see, I have a folder and it's full of all my examples and things that we're going to do today. So I'm opening my Bulk Create. And what we're going to do right here, I have things in the notes. You won't, but I'm going to take a prompt. And to create my prompt, I want to think about the most important thing here is I would tell you we've been talking a lot in our real estate group lately about going slow to go fast. Before you jump in here, sit down, maybe with a piece of scratch paper or something, and think about what you're trying to create. What do you want before you ask AI? You'll save a lot of frustration. So what I'm going to demo is 10 evergreen home seller education posts. I will show you that one row will become one design and one piece of content. So to create my prompt, I want to think about what I want. I want 10 rows because I'm creating 10 pieces of content. And the headers, I've thought about what I want them to be. I want a topic, and that's for me to know what it is at a glance. I want a hook, a caption, and a call to action. Pretty basic things that you would put in any kind of post. So I've thought about it and I've created a prompt. And this is my prompt. I'm going to go up here to Ask Canva, and I'm going to put the prompt that I created, and I'll read it out loud. Create a table with 10 rows of social media content for real estate agents. Use 4 columns named topic, hook, caption, and CTA for call to action. Focus on practical, evergreen home seller education. Keep every hook under 8 words, every caption between 30 and 40 words, and every call to action under 8 words. Use a warm, clear, professional tone. Avoid statistics, legal advice, exaggerated claims, and repeated topics. And that's just the prompt I created. I will share it in the cheat sheet that we'll put in the group. If you like that prompt, you can just tweak it for whatever you want, but let's just create it. And I have it all set up already, so I can show you if this takes too long. Sometimes it takes longer. It just depends on my internet, the load, how many things I have open, what's going on, but generally it's pretty darn quick. And I would love for you to see it in real time. If it doesn't happen fast, we will just go to the next one. I want to say you want to be, when you create your prompt, use very plain language, be specific about length, tone, and tell it what to avoid. You want to tell AI what you don't want to see, what you don't want to hear. You don't need a complicated prompt. You need a complete prompt. And I will also say, when I first started using AI, I would talk to it like an assistant, and I wanted my, digital overlords to be happy, and I would say, please, and thank you. But every time you do that, you are wasting tokens. You're wasting your capacity for your AI, and it's not a person. So don't do that. Just be very clear. Don't confuse it. It's not a person. You're not trying to butter it up. Tell it what you want. So you can see that it gave us a topic and it put, silly. I didn't mean to do that. How did I do that? I don't know what I did. I'm going to the one here. We have a topic. I always start clicking around when I'm here with all of you. And I'm going to go to this one and show you that there's a table here. We have a topic, we have a hook, we have a caption, we have a call to action. Those are our columns, as you can see. You'll need to know this later on. Today, we are not connecting things. We're not going beyond this. Your rows will be a post. Each one of these rows will be a post. I kept this very simple today, but we're talking about social media. You'll probably want a photo or something in there. You would make that another column, another topic. But today we're talking about AI. I have asked it, let me see if I can go back here and fix, there we go. I have asked it to create it. You can see that I have curb appeal, first impressions exist beyond the door. I like to make it so I can see everything. That's what I was doing when I made that go away. Before the door opens, rather. You can wrap your text. So I'm going to wrap the text in this column. I don't know about you, but if I can see it all, I'm much happier. So you can see how that worked. Now we're going to revise it a little bit. I have a little note here. I've looked through it and I think, oh, that's fine, but I have a refinement that I want to use. And I'm going back to my screen, which I paused for a moment. Okay. And I'm going to refine it. I like what it said. It reached the limit of what it could do. It gave me all 10. I don't know why it said that. I'm going to rewrite. I'm rewriting the hook column. So each hook is more specific and conversational. Keep every hook under 8 words. I don't want it to use the phrase, did you know? It didn't use that, but a lot of times AI does when you're doing this kind of content. And I don't want to say that because it's hokey. So if you watch the hook column, this one, it's going to edit my sheet and update it a little bit. And I'd like to show you this again. I have a backup where I've done all of these, but I would like to show you in real time. While we're waiting for it, I will say, I didn't preface everything today, but if you have any questions, please hold them to the end. We will answer questions at the end, but often we find, yeah, it's reached the limit. I don't know why, and that's what I was saying before.
It did change though.
It did change it? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, the hooks were a
Good.
little more generic and now they're very specific.
They're more in my
More
voice.
specific, yeah.
Let's see if we can get the other one. I think it's funny that it keeps saying that, but Rayson and I were talking this morning that we both are having some little bit internet.
And sometimes when you do
Thanks,
stuff on
joining.
Zoom, things just don't work as well.
As we found, right?
Mhm.
I want to do a refinement now to my captions, and you'll see what I put in. Shorten the caption column. So each caption is 25 to 35 words. Remove repeated phrases and keep the language easy to understand. So you can refine this. Really, the point is to refine it, to make it sound more like you. I'm going to show you another way to do that after we get through these refinements.
While we're waiting on it to think, I want to add one of the things that I think is kind of cool if you're like me and sometimes you're like, oh, I get tired of trying to figure out what image should I use. One of the columns could actually be an image idea. So you could ask AI to give you an idea of what the image should be. And so
100%.
that way, then when it's time for you to go find an image, you have something to help prompt you and you're not just like, I just get overwhelmed and I start looking at everything and I can't make up my mind, right? So
Right?
that's an option as well, is to use AI to help you get an idea of what do you recommend the image for this?
I love that idea. That's a great prompt and a great idea. I would also say this is where your brand kit comes in very handy, because if you know your brand, you're not always looking to make something new. You're just using what fits your brand. And I would encourage you that. I know in the early days of being able to do all this stuff, we all wanted to do something fun and exciting and new every time. But really, your audience is looking for you to do things that look like you. You want them to recognize it. I'm going to do one more refinement just to show you how we can do refinements. So this row, this entire post, deep cleaning, dirty grout, it's actually not bad. I can recommend trusted cleaners. I love that. But I'm going to show you a prompt that will change it. And I said, replace row 6 with a new seller education topic that does not repeat any other topic in the sheet. Keep the same 4-column structure. And we're going to change that one. And then we're going to move on to the next sheet. And I'm going to show you a few things so that we're all ready. It's being quick now. I don't know. We were having a little too much information moment or something. I know my brain works that way, so it's fine that AI does that. So you can see it replaced the entire post. Now I would tell you, read every one of these before you do anything with them. Read them carefully. Make sure they sound like you. If you're concerned about that and you're feeling like not enough sounded like me, maybe this one, fresh mulch, trimmed hedges, and a clean walkway. That's not bad. Signal your home is well maintained. Buyers judge condition before stepping inside. You can highlight something and you can come up here and you can say, you see where I tapped actions, and go to magic right and say, make this more conversational. and it will change it, make it more conversational. I'll do it. We have time.
While she's doing that, this is also a reminder that AI, especially if you tends to go with the green grass specific, a very specific, I actually like to call it the Eastern look. I feel like it's been prompted for more of an Eastern look. So if you
Right.
live somewhere in the United States that isn't specifically the Eastern look, especially like I do in the Southwest, or if you have very specific things like, you're wanting to do something around the lake community or something like that. Not only is reading important, often the things like Curb Appeal will say mow your lawn or something like that, which is not something that's going to happen in Tucson, Arizona.
Right.
So but you can also, tell it specifically ahead of time if you know there are things that AI tends to get wrong a lot for your particular area. Make sure you are telling it that as well, as a heads up.
I love that reminder. Thank you so much. I often tell it I am in the Pacific Northwest because we have a specific look here. We have conifers, we have just mountains and things. So I updated that. I can say more like this. I can say this, but I actually like this better. Think fresh mulch, tidy hedges, because you're with your hook. Your front door makes or breaks showings or something, anyway, you can insert it. You can say this, but, and give it more. But the other thing you can do that's really nice here is you can go to actions and you can come down here to apply brand voice. And you see where it says Joy Johnson Realtor. I have prompted in my brand kit my brand voice. And my brand voice here is, oops, that's not what I meant to do. I start clicking around. My brand voice is warm, confident, modern, trusted guide voice, conversational, clear, and no fluff. Reject hype and cookie cutter solutions. That's what I like for my brand voice. You can create your brand voice any way you want it to sound, but that will show you. So we've done this. Next week, we're going to talk about how to use outside AI and import it into here. We're going to talk about prompting whatever AI tool you like to use, if you prefer to use Gemini, Claude, or ChatGPT. I'm not going to teach next week how to use those things, but I will show you how to ask your AI to format things so you can use it easily when you come back into Canva. I'm also going to show different ways that we can convert things in Canva. With that, I will ask if there are any questions. And I'm going to leave this on screen just in case.
Before we get to questions, can I add one thing about the actions that I really like?
Yes, absolutely.
If you have it generate something and you go in and then you're like, oh, I hate row 3, 7, 10, 12, and you just delete those. Let's say you go in and you're like, they suck, and you delete them. Okay. Then one of the things that I think is awesome is you can actually select like the sheet or the section. Let's say you're doing 20 rows. You select all 20 rows, and then you can actually go in under actions. And there's one, if you go up, there's one that says fill in. Fill in empty cells. So she can't hit it right now because it will.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, she doesn't do that. But you can also do it that way as well. Then that way it will take a look at the sheet, what you've already got on the sheet, and it will just fill in based on what you already have in the sheet, other information. That's another way to do it. I think also if, let's say, you already generated in the past 10 seller things or 10 buyer things, and you're like, oh, I really liked that. I just want to do more like this. If you have it already in here, those 5 things or 3 things, and then you select, say, 10 rows and tell it to fill in the blank, it'll look at the sheet, see what's already there, and fill in based on what you've already created.
It's very fun. I have done it that way, just continued the same thing. But,
yes. And if you find a series you like, do these 10, post them, and then come back and do the next to, down to 20 and tell it to fill it in. Yeah.
And I would say, I don't know if your experience is the same, Ray Sun, But for me, I like to start with just a few because I don't want to edit, 50 posts at one time. I will often start even with 5 so I can see if the content is really even something I would want to work with. I like to know, is this going to work for me, or do I need to scrap the whole idea? Do I need to rewrite my prompt? So I like to start with a few and then I'll just tell it, give me more like this. Once I like it, give me more like this. Works a lot. Linda, you have a question.
Yeah, so like you take the first column. Now, how do you put it on automatic so it's posting and then you want to tweak it to add a picture? Like one of them, I think I can't really read the small print.
Okay,
Well, I can't read the small print.
that's okay.
Like I think one of them says curb appeal or something like that.
Yeah.
So you want to put a house. Oh, thank you. Um, so to have it go on automatic, so you take the first column and you post it in, how do you like Facebook or Instagram to automatically go?
We are going to cover that in the future. We're
Okay.
trying to do building blocks because we've gone through bulk create a few times. And even though every step is simple, as you can see today, it's very, very simple. We find that when we do all the steps in a row, people seem to get lost.
Okay.
So we have a
We've
class coming up that's going to do the entire process. We're going to go through
Okay.
each point, and then I believe it's Raysun's going to show, but we'll do entire posts beginning to end.
And
Yeah,
so
so
this,
this is just how to create your, so in order to, so Canva Sheets, first of all, Canva Sheets can be used for many different reasons. You can use it to create social media posts. You could use it to you could use Canva AI in the way that she just showed you today to create a checklist. It doesn't have to be just for social media post, right? There are lots of different ways you could use AI to create something in a sheet format that could be useful. But we are looking at how to do bulk create because we feel like it saves real estate agents so much time, right?
yeah, I can see that.
And so
Mhm.
we are breaking it down into the very tiny steps. And each of these steps are useful, not just for bulk create, but for Canva in general, right? So
Right.
every tool that we show you for this series, and we started with 10, I think in the end, it may end up being up to 15 total different, series, breaking down the pieces, all the way from what we've seen, which is how to use Canvas Sheets, which was class 1. This is how to use Magic AI. Next week will be how to use external AI and bring it into your Excel sheets, because not everybody, some people already have their Chat GPT or their Claude or their whatever. Right. They love it. It knows their brand voice. They want to just get the details of the sheet and move it into the sheet and go from there. But the first step is, of course, making sure you know how to use really well Canvas Sheets, because it is the essence of the backbone of doing bulk create. And so as we go through the series, we will be answering questions, everything from designing your templates, how to hook the data together, how to make your posts, how to post. All of those different things are going to be part of the series. And towards the end, we'll get into more complicated things like series that involve reels, or series that involve, changing images. Some posts may simply be the same type of image or design. So we're going to get through all of that as we go.
Exactly. I even had to write myself a note today on my class notes that said, know exactly where to stop. Do not open a design template. Do not connect the sheet to elements. Do not generate a finished batch. End with a completed content sheet and explain that in the future we're going to do it, because I was afraid I would go too far. And today's class, to what Ray Sun said, we will definitely be adding classes. Today was going to be all AI and connecting it to sheets, and it was too much. So we divided it into 2. Next week, I'll be talking about outside AI, importing it. I'm also going to take a note and list a few other uses for sheets other than just social media. I know we all are trying to simplify social media, but sheets can be very useful for presenting other information. I use them a lot, even for organizing my business, you know, creating a content calendar. I've used it for class ideas, for, I just used one for a packing list for a trip. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And you can
really do anything.
And they have templates also. So if you're in there and you want to go in and explore the templates, they have like social media calendar templates. Another way to use that magic AI, right? Find a social media template you like, or find another template that's already there of some other way of utilizing Canva sheets that you want, and tell it to turn that into your brand voice, or tell it delete the ones you don't like and say, you know, fill in the blank spots, right? You can use Canva AI to help take a template and turn it into something that you that fits you better if you find a basic one that you like.
Exactly. Or
so
say you did something. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
We get excited about it. You
I'm
can tell
slow.
we do this when we have conversations too. We get excited about it and we start talking together. I like the idea too of taking a piece of content that you created a while ago without these tools that worked really well for you, and expand upon that, create a series around it, you know, see what worked for you. You can create anything, really. You can create anything, a post, scripts, so much. Nancy asked if we missed a previous class, or they recorded so we can go back and catch up. I know we say it every week. We're really working on getting all the recordings up. We used to have them in our group. Please join our group on Facebook. It's called Real Estate Canva Lab with Ray, Sun, and Joy. Join our group. We will get them up. We are trying to make sure we have guides and videos for everything. We thought that doing Facebook Live would take care of the video problem, and you wouldn't have to wait for us to have time to put videos and guides up. But the Facebook Lives do not live forever, we have learned. So we're having to go back and do, and
I will say that we are doing, this is being recorded as a YouTube live for my YouTube channel. So in the meantime, it won't have everything. It will only have the more recent ones, including the one from last week. So if you want to go back and watch the how to use Canva sheets, this is your 101, like, you know, all the different pieces of Canva sheets so that you know where everything is and familiarize yourself with Canva sheets. That one is currently available because we did record it live on YouTube on my YouTube channel.
Right. What is your YouTube channel? What's it called?
Race and Frost.
Can we put that in
the chat? Frost?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me, I didn't think about it. Let me go see if I can find the link for you.
If you put it in the chat, we'll all have that. And then I would say if you missed last week, that would be a great place to start, because Ray Sun did a really good breakdown of all those elements on the page, how they work together, how they connect.
Yes. Oh, it's apparently it's at Homes by Rayson. But my name is so unique. If you just look up Rayson Frost in YouTube, I should pop right up there. So that's the nice thing. Here, I'll put the actual channel link here.
I love your name. You're a ray of sun.
Yeah. And it fits your personality.
Thank you.
It's perfect. There we go. There's your.
And then, like she said, there are some of the ones, like if you didn't look at the brand kit or things like that, we do still have the brand kit. It was an actual uploaded one, not so we do have a couple other ones that are still up there in our guides. And all of the guides are still there, like the PDF guides of information. It's just that the Facebook Live videos, we didn't realize, get deleted after 30 days. And we were doing that. And so some of the videos you can't actually access anymore. So.
And I predict after we get through this, but I mean, this is a quarter's worth of classes. After we get through this one, I think I would like to revisit a few that I already covered, because Canva moved a bunch of stuff on us. We were doing classes and trying to find things. Plus, we've also found that we were putting too much information in each class. With a half an hour, it's better to just break it down really into little bits and cover the rest in another class. So with that,
I agree. I agree.
Is it better? Linda, you've been here since the beginning. You and Rima, is it? I think Rima's getting coffee, but does it work better to break it down more?
Yes, it does, because for the half an hour, we were always running out of time. And then And that actually gives, baby steps for people
Okay,
like me.
perfect. Good. That's what we were noticing too. And we also were trying to rush through, like, oh my gosh, I got to get through all this stuff. I'm only halfway through. How am I going to get through everything? So,
Speaking of the 30 minutes, we are going to try
Yep.
really hard to keep us on that 30-minute time frame, starting on time and ending on time. So it is 8:33 and we're going to go. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.